Okay, so we're back. Try to finish this second section. I've pre-cut the batting material and have it loosely sitting over the form. And my little pieces of numbered styrofoam here are ones that I have to anchor down with spray foam before I bury the whole area. This is a small retaining wall that I'm going to bury in there. It's covered with wax paper so I can extract the wax paper, but I want to build the scenery right up to where I'm going. So we'll get started. I really find this is the best and fastest way to anchor all this stuff. It gets hard as a rock. Now, that's all taken care of. Now we're going to cover the entire section. And generally speaking, working from the bottom and working your way up, I find works better. That way the stuff will tend to support itself. I'm not depressing the trigger all the way right now, or it would be coming out a lot more aggressively. So much for my work from the bottom up theory, huh? Okay. Apparently you don't get quite as much in a Lowe's can as you do from a Home Depot can. I don't know if that nail is going to work for saving it, but we're going to try it. Now, I'm going to start with this area. The alignment is fairly important. There's going to be a retaining wall down at this end. I'm probably blocking your view. And at this point, you just want to get it covered, and then as it dries, we're going to start compressing it further. It tends not to come through the batting unless you get really aggressive squeezing it. Alright. Any other pointers? Now it's a matter of be patient and keep forming it into anything that's left over can be trimmed back with the scissors. This retaining wall is going to fit, or something of that shape is going to fit right there. So it's still trying to expand. You can see it fighting back a little bit, and that's fine. You can move it around. Got some down here that's going to squeeze out. Just going to put that there for the moment. I'll come back and trim it off. Hope we're still in focus. Check the retaining wall to make sure. So as we're talking, it's once this stuff starts to cure or set up or whatever it does, you can crush it and it will start to have memory instead of just arbitrarily bouncing back. And that's where you can start creating landform lines, drainage, washed out areas, just something so it doesn't look like a big round hill. Yes, it's not the friendliest stuff to get on your hands, but a little acetone will tend to get it off. Pardon my silence for a moment. So up here in the back, I'm just tucking it back in. I'll move the camera a little bit closer. So as I'm working down here, I want to move more of it up to the top. You can see that as it starts to set up, you can start to get those slight indentations, so it doesn't look like a big round blob of a hill. behind here. I'm just going to keep pushing and squeezing until I get what I'm looking for. And we won't have to necessarily, well, I can edit some of this video out so it's not too boring. Just sit and watch. Yeah, I just stuck a little blob of batting in that hole because the foam was squeezing out. So rather than make an awful mess. So the wall still fits pretty well. Now you can see you can actually pinch it. You can start creating sharper lines in the terrain by pinching it. You'll actually get a ridge line. It doesn't do any good to do that until you're a couple of minutes into this stuff starting to cure. So it can be both a push in One other piece of advice is you never want to shake a can once it is opened, because these blobs that are coming out of the straw will end up in your hair and on your shirt and on your carpeting, and it's just not happy. So I had to learn that lesson the hard way. I was curious to know if there was anything left in the can and figured I would shake it, and lo and behold, that was a really bad idea. So, I think this is by far the neatest way to make scenery that I've ever discovered in 30 years in this hobby. So you have some working time. I don't have a clock running, so I don't know how many minutes it's been, but it's starting to get stiff. In about an hour, it will be ready for the next step. I don't think we're going to get that done because it's getting to be dinner time here, but that's really all there is to it. So I'm going to knock off the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back for phase 2 or phase 3.